Hi guys, Ronnie here and welcome to the workshop. Today we have another new addition to the Wahoo trainer section of the workshop. This time it's the brand new Kickr Rollr, which I'm pretty sure you have already seen on the internet. And for me, this is actually one of the most important Wahoo products that I have now, mainly because of my time trialing. Their warm-ups are pretty critical, and actually this is the thing that I was warming up for the World Champs not so long ago. Back then it wasn't a released product, but now I have a final version for myself and I'm going to talk you through what is it about. For me, it's not really a trainer, it's more of a tool, as I said already, for warm-ups before races and time trials, so that's very important for me. But also here in the workshop for clients, for fitting them on their bikes, checking the aero position, also before aero testing to do some preliminary checks, etc. So for that I need something easily portable and compatible with any bike. These are the key features that I need to have in this. So let's just have a look on how does it work and what does it do. Okay, so here we have my bike, and we'll check out how does it fit into the Wahoo Kickr Rollr. So here's how you do that. Just press the front wheel in the cradle, rear wheel on the rollers, and then you turn this little wheel to secure it, secure the clamp, and that's it, off you go. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Couldn't really be simpler to install and use. Now, if I have to draw some comparisons, earlier, as you know, I have been using the Feedback Omnium, which is a portable trainer designed for a very similar use, and I've had it for around 5 years or so. Took it to basically every race that I went to. So I'm going to compare this unit to that. So first, if we talk about portability, then definitely the Feedback is a lot smaller unit, much more compact. This one though, it has the option of folding this clamping area completely flat, so actually it doesn't take up much space when in the car. So more or less the same. We'll see how that works when packing up for a real event. Second thing that you need to consider when taking a trainer to a race to warm up on is that if you have enough resistance on it to do your wattage. Now, the Feedback trainer had magnetic resistance, which meant that the pedaling feel was a bit choppy. And that's also why I stopped using it for bike fits, because it doesn't matter how smooth you are otherwise on the bike. If you put on that trainer, it kind of falls apart a little bit because of the resistance. This one is a smart trainer. It can be used that way, so fully interactive with Zwift, etc. So I was wondering if there is enough resistance without it being plugged in to just use as a warm-up tool, but as you saw earlier, there's quite a lot of resistance, so unless you have superhuman power, that's not going to be an issue. Unlike some smart trainers, for example the Kickr, with that, if you don't have it plugged in, there's basically no resistance, just the inertia of the flywheel itself, no brake force on there, so that's not so good for warm-ups. This one though ticks that box definitely, so portability and resistance are there. The pedaling feel here is much smoother than on the Feedback, so that's a big plus as well. One little tricky thing that you need to keep in mind is there's a sliding shaft that I mentioned. Use that to adjust the wheelbase. I had a bit of a problem earlier because it's quite hard to adjust when the bike is on and the trainer is on a grippy surface like on the Wahoo carpet. But here and basically everywhere else with, I don't know, grass or tarmac or a parking lot, concrete, etc., that won't be an issue, certainly. Price wise, the list price of this is 800 euros. So at first I saw that's quite a lot, but then I checked the Feedback Omnium's price, that's around 560 now, and that has no smart compatibility at all. So comparing to that, actually the value is pretty good. And the party trick of this trainer, of course, is you don't need to remove any wheel. So with a smart trainer you have to remove the rear wheel, which is a bad idea right before a race or a time trial, because things can go wrong if you do it in a hurry. With your gears, you can tear off the rear mac in extreme cases, etc. So that's not good. The feedback clamps the front axle and the front fork. So basically you only have to remove the front wheel, which is much easier, and certainly on rim brake bikes that's very quick to do because you just have a quick release. The problem, and yeah, the disc brake haters can now rejoice, but sometimes it happens that if you remove the front wheel from a disc brake bike, you don't install basically the blocking element into the caliper, then someone can pull your brake lever accidentally, or even you yourself while doing a warm-up or when installing and removing the bike, and things can go wrong with the rotor alignment and the pistons not retracting, etc. So this one really is completely foolproof, because you just put the complete bike on there and you can remove it 30 seconds before your start and hop on it and off you go. So no worries about that. It didn't really happen to me at any point, but I was worried about this before important events, and I even went as far as taking both bikes and warming up on one and racing on another, which is not very practical, and certainly taking just this trainer is much more convenient. So let's have a look at how you actually undo the bike. So again, you just rotate the wheel the other way, of course, and the bike is off, and you can go and ride. So you can put this basically right on the start line and you're good to go. And if you talk about portability, you can fold it down as such, and yeah, this is a pretty solid unit despite it being pretty heavy. It's around 20 kilos all in, so of course all the fixing bit and this one has to be pretty sturdy. Also there's a sizable flywheel on there, so it's not going to be light, but as you can see it folds very flat and you can actually grab this area pretty well and carry it like so, so not too bad at all. Yeah, so that's pretty much it about the Wahoo Kickr Rollr. I'm definitely going to use it a lot this season because, yeah, it's a bit of a lifesaver in terms of the disc brake bikes and the warm-ups with them. So definitely I'll update you about that and how that goes. And of course, as I said, for my clients it's also a big thing because you don't need to worry about compatibility. This can basically fit any bike regardless of the drivetrain, wheel size possibly, and bike size either. The only actual thing that I can recall as a compatibility problem, if you have a really tiny TT bike with a really tiny stack, then perhaps in extreme cases you might not be able to fit it here because the aero bar will touch the securing mechanism, but I think that would be quite an extreme case. So anyway, that's all for today about the Kickr Rollr. If you like this and you want to know more about stuff that I do use for my racing and training, then don't forget to tune into the channel later on and subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.